Welcome to a wet and wild new episode of the Demonic Compendium, the show where I discuss the mythology, design, and game history of your favorite Megami Tensei demons. As we dive into the new year, I'm reminded that time is like a river, ever flowing, usually not going backwards, and so today we're just gonna go with the flow, and I hope you're all ready to get wet, because today we're talking about Ganga. Ganga is the goddess personification of the Ganges River in India, which holds deep religious and spiritual significance in Hinduism, as it was believed that these holy waters could wash away the sins of humanity. The story of how Ganga came to Earth began with King Sagara, who had two wives. One gave him a single son, the other gave him 60,000 sons. Sagara wanted to pay tribute to the gods by sacrificing a horse, which the god Indra stole. The 60,000 sons all went looking for it, apparently the idea of splitting up never occurred to any of them, and they found it next to a meditating sage. Believing that the sage stole the horse, they confronted him, and enraged at being interrupted, the sage burned all 60,000 of them to ashes. Which, I hate being woken up from a nap too, but that seems like a bit of an overreaction. Sagara believed that his immolated sons could still reach heaven if flowing water from the gods washed over their ashes, so he and his descendants began to pray. Eventually, Sagara's descendant, Bhagirath, was able to appease Brahma, who agreed to send Ganga down from heaven to wash over the ashes. However, her force would be so powerful that it would break the earth in two, so Shiva, the destroyer, wrapped Ganga up in his hair, allowing her to flow to the earth more safely. Ganga even took pride in knowing she was so powerful that it took Shiva to rein her in, which is why in some versions Ganga was seen as an avatar of Shiva's wife, Parvati. Ganga ended up doing a lot of really cool stuff on Earth, and to this day the Ganges River is a sacred spot with many festivals and offerings held to appease the goddess. Ganga's compendium entry from Persona 3 Reload refers to her as the personification of the Ganges River. Originally from the heavens, she came to Earth to clean the souls of the people as a result of the prayers of Bhagirath. Hey, real quick, if you like what I do here, please consider commenting, subscribing, maybe even checking out the Patreon. It honestly all helps a lot. Thanks so much. Moving on. Design-wise, Ganga is typically portrayed as a beautiful goddess in the river. While I appreciate Kaneko's version of the figure clearly being based on aquatic life with the blue scales and fins and stuff, I do sort of wish there'd been more from her mythology brought into it. Maybe actually incorporate some water into the design itself, like with Doi's Anahita, like by having this veil coming out from her crown be flowing water. Or perhaps have her fins be bound in Shiva's hair, similar to Okikomushi. I'm not sure if Ganga is based on a specific reference point from Kaneko, or if it's acknowledging something, and it's not a bad design by any means. I just do feel like it could have done a little bit more. I still appreciate it not being a traditional humanoid form though, and having some distinction that helps her stand out. Also, this is completely irrelevant, but I always thought her eyes were just closed and she had teal eyeshadow, but nah, she's just got aqua eyes, so that's neat, I guess. As far as game history goes, Ganga has had some pretty big roles, especially in the 6th generation of consoles. In Shin Megami Tensei 9, she was one of the demon partners of the character Miranda, who acted as a lawful heroine in the title. Seriously though, where's the remaster or remake of this game? I would love to properly dive into this one sometime. Also, there are mini-boss versions called Madness-Driven Ganga in the MMO title Shin Megami Tensei Imagine, a game I admittedly tend to neglect on this show. One of Ganga's largest roles is in Digital Devil Saga 2, where Tribvana Heaven, the lone female member of the group, transforms into the Aquatic Snake Lady as the group ascends the Karma Society Tower. Fun fact, with this episode, I have now done videos on all 3 members of the Tribvana, which means this was the 3rd time that I have recorded this exact boss fight. Ganga appears in Persona 3. Does she actually do anything special in that game? Not really. I mean, she gives you the Diorama skill card in Persona 3 Portable. But she does appear in Persona 3 Reload, where she admittedly also doesn't really do anything special. However, her very existence in that game is worth acknowledging. See, since Reload came out, I've done episodes on Persona 3 demons like Ares and Ubelurus, who was also a member of the Tribvana, and talked about how Atlus just replaced them in Reload with other figures that they'd already made updated models for. Well, Ganga is one of the pretty rare examples of a demon that didn't have a modern model who got to stay in Reload, and I think that's worth acknowledging too. And since Ganga was also in Persona 4, where, you guessed it, she doesn't do much except giving you the Bufula skill card in Persona 4 Golden, I'm just gonna toss out now that she will likely remain in Persona 4 Revival whenever that comes out. Probably this year, since we are in the Persona 30th anniversary now. Oh yeah, and speaking of Personas 3 and 4, Ganga is in Persona Q, Shadow of the Labyrinth, where she can produce the skill card for Orb of Haste, which is a really useful skill for Fuka or Rise to have. There really wasn't a whole lot else to go with here. And there you have it, Ganga, the ravishing, rippling river representative riding rapids reverently. Did I leave out something you thought was important? Was I just plain wrong about something? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to let me know who you'd like to see me talk about in future episodes. That's going to do it for this episode of the Demonic Compendium, and I will see you next time. But be careful while you rest that a demon doesn't take over your body.